good. How are you, Bruno?
Pretty good, pretty good. In
Yeah.
Paris for a few weeks already.
Not too bad, not too bad. And
Uh, that's okay. Actually, it's kind of funny because Paris is kind of rainy normally in April or March,
yeah,
and like for 3 months now it's sunny like never ever. I don't know if you can see, but
it's
it's
been the
sunny like that. So we were locked like everyone on Earth for a few months, and it was sunny like never
what,
ever.
yeah, watching every day go by. We have the same here in the Netherlands, actually. It's been the most beautiful weather, and we're all stuck inside to watch it go
Ah,
by.
what happens?
But yeah, just before we jump into anything, I think it might be nice to tell everyone a little bit about yourself
Yep.
and yeah, introduce this.
Yes, of course. So my name is Bruno. I'm a Frenchie, as you can hear on my accent, maybe. It's been maybe 10 years that I'm traveling around the world. And it's been 8 years that I started a blog, a travel blog. Once upon a time, 8 years ago is a long time ago, actually. Like nobody really cared about being a travel blogger. It was not a job. It was not something like that.
Yeah.
So I just created my blog as a passion, and with the time, it became my job. It's been 5 years that it's my job, and 5 years that I'm just traveling around the world and sharing my passion with my followers all over the world.
And really made your passion your job, I feel.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
No,
exactly.
it's
So
super
lucky.
awesome that you're doing this. Yeah.
Yes, I feel lucky about it.
Good. So indeed, today we're just going to have a little Q&A, get to know a little bit more about what you do and a little bit more about you, and yeah, share that with everyone.
Yep.
So just to kick it off, how long, you already mentioned it before, but how long has this travel journey gone for?
Well, yeah, it's been a long time. I guess I'm passionate about traveling for maybe 30 years. I mean, 29 years since I'm born, because I had a huge map of the world close to my bed, and I was learning the countries names, all those things every night, asking my mom to say me. So, what is the capital of Netherlands? And I would say Amsterdam, obviously, these kind of things. So I'm passionate about traveling for 25 years, and I'm traveling for more than 10 years, I guess.
Okay.
So it started in Europe, firstly, because it's easy for people to travel in Europe. And
Yeah.
then I went everywhere around the world. I used to live in Montreal, Canada. I used
Right.
to live in New York, in Lima, in Shanghai, in, I don't know, Budapest, Prague, Lisboa, many
Quite a big
places.
list.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. And like, so I understand like it's been something from young on, but what really made you want to take that step to maybe turn it into a job or kind of take it more seriously?
Oh, well, it was the end of my studying period. I was getting my master degree in business. So
Mhm.
I had two options. I had the safe option. I could work with TF1. It's the biggest TV channel in France. I was working for TF1 as a student, but they offered me a job. And I was like, okay, so I have this option, this safe option that will make happy my great parents, my family, my close people. And I had the other option that was following my dreams, and that was my blog, because it started to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So, well, I was like, should I follow my dreams, or should I follow maybe the normal way after getting a master degree? And I was
Right.
like, okay, let's just try it, and we will see what will happen in the future. So that was nearly 6 years ago. And well, it wasn't so obvious that it would work, because 6 years ago, there were no influencers as we call it today. There were
Yeah.
not so much money, not so many collaboration with brands that
Yeah.
trust in us today. Maybe that 6 years ago, it wasn't that possible. So yeah, that was following my dreams or following my normal life that I could have got to, and I decided to follow my dreams, to try to follow my dreams.
Awesome. I think you succeeded. So
I try to.
no, definitely. So I think there's a lot of perks to this life, but I wonder, like, are there any drawbacks that you found within traveling the world?
The only like what is a drawback exactly? I forgot what it means in English.
Like a disadvantage, something that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's not so cool things. Well, if you travel always around the world, you might have the problem of not being able to see as much your close friends, families as you wish to see them. So that's the main disadvantage, in my opinion, to be a full-time travel blogger. Sometimes I'm on the road like on during months, and I have really no time to see anybody I wish I could see. So sometimes when you see a wedding, when you see a baby that is born, something like that happening, because I'm nearly 30 years old, so these kind of things happen to me right now. So that would be the main problem. Also, I could speak about the fact it's pretty hard to have a relation, actually. When you are always on the road, when I meet a girl or something like that, like she will always tell me, "Oh, you have a dream job and everything." And of course, it's my dream job. But since I'm always on the road, it's not so much possible to have a strong relationship.
yeah,
It's not always easy. So that's think close people, not close friends, all those
fair
things.
enough. Yeah, I can see how that can be hard indeed.
Yes, I guess.
I wouldn't find it the biggest advantage indeed as the uh,
Yes.
but still, beyond those drawbacks, I'm sure there's amazing things that you've been able to experience. Has there been like some highlights, well, not highlights, but yeah, big advantage that you see to this life?
But, it's every day is a new adventure when you're traveling. So you meet people from all over the world with different cultures, with different experiences. So I really feel that I already lived 5 lives in just one. When I'm coming back to my home, I'm like, wow, what did I just live in India or in Canada or in Peru? So just having the feeling that you live your life to the fullest is just the biggest advantage that you can get when you travel a lot, I guess.
Very nicely said. And in your travel journey, what would you say has been like one of the biggest hurdles? So maybe something, yeah, that, do you know what I mean with a hurdle? Like
Yeah,
something you
something
really had
bad.
to overcome, something bad that you had to overcome.
Honestly, I must be very lucky, but I never had a big problem while traveling. But it's maybe because once I arrived in a destination like Colombia, I've been to Colombia 6 years ago, and it was known as dangerous, even if it was not. But as soon as I arrived in Colombia, I asked the locals, can you give me some tips? Where should I not go? What should I wear? Is it okay if I have my camera in my hand by night, by day, these kind of things? So I always ask locals for tips like that. And thanks to that, I guess I never had any problem. I really had never any problem, like big problem. I
Fair
never had
enough.
a big issue.
So the help of the locals, that's the way to go.
Exactly. True story. True story.
Yeah,
Always do that. Always.
for sure. And I've been looking around a bit. Your last trip, what was to India, correct?
Exactly. Big trip in India. Yeah.
Very big trip. Can it be, yeah, what are you planning to do next? Next on
uh,
the big adventures.
Well, I'm lucky enough to be French, as you might hear with my accent again. And France is the most visited country of the world, as you might know. So, since we are in a kind of weird situation, global situation right now because of the COVID-19, uh, I would say that I will travel mainly in France in the next month. So, I'm going to go in the south of France, I'm going to go in the northeast, in Bretagne, in everywhere. And yes, I guess France is gonna be the next destination for the next months. Like all summer in France sounds pretty possible because we are even not so much sure of what could happen
Yeah.
actually. So one
Yeah.
week I'm saying I'm gonna go there, and maybe in 2 weeks I'm gonna be locked down in my home in Paris, like it's been
Already
for
gonna
a few
change.
months.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go to France and show to my French followers that we have so many things to see. Because actually, I guess it's kind of the same for everyone. But if you live in France, you might want to go to Netherlands or Germany or Italy or Spain. And if you live in Netherlands, you might want to go to France or, we never want to discover our countries.
yeah,
So I want to show that there are so many things to discover in my country. I already did it in the past. I've been to Toulouse. I've been to so many places. And I guess it's gonna be, yes, the way for me to travel in the next month.
Yeah,
France.
to stay local.
Yeah. Did you travel to France already?
Yes, I
Yeah.
used to live in France.
Oh, really?
Yes, and well, close to the border of Switzerland, actually. So it's also a very beautiful part of France. And I
Yes.
know that, there's just so many different types of landscapes in France, and where you go to, you can go coastal or more mountainous, and
True
it's
story.
it has such a variety. So it really, I can see what you mean with there's a lot to explore,
Yes,
even in
definitely.
your own backyard. And
Yeah.
I'll be doing the same in the Netherlands this year.
You see, it's good.
But
Travel local is a good thing.
I
Take
think
your
it's
car.
opened up our eyes a little bit to that possibility as well, right? To
Definitely. Yeah, just take your car, put your GPS, put a destination, get lost, and this is how things happen. How the best things happen, actually, I guess.
Yeah, no, so more road trips to come.
Yes, definitely.
So on that road trip, what would be, or just traveling in general, what would be kind of those three must-have items that you would
Ah,
take with you?
well, this thing is pretty important for now. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take my phone, and I'm gonna take my camera. I guess it's pretty standard, but that's
Pretty-
how I can walk. So I don't need five t-shirts, just one, even for 2 weeks. It's okay, I'm traveling alone, so no, yeah, to be honest, I think the main things would be those things because we need to travel being safe by traveling. So this is gonna be useful. We need to get used to it. When you're traveling to Asia, when you're going to Singapore or other places, I've been to Tokyo or other places, they
Yeah,
all have this on them for years.
yeah,
And we just have to get used to it in Europe, but we need it to stop, the the virus. So yeah, I guess those three things would be the main things I would take.
the must-have. Very nice.
Yes.
But indeed, it's a thing of us getting used to. I think
Yes.
indeed around the world, there's already many countries who've taken this on, and it's the
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so yeah, it needs to become our new normal as well, I guess.
Exactly. Like in Paris, I would never have expect just 4 months ago that everybody would wear it, and now it's kind of normal. And 4 months ago, if I would have seen somebody with this on his face, like in the streets, I would have been like, what are you doing? And
Yeah,
now it's just being normal. So it has to be normal, actually.
exactly. And you also just talked about quite a few other countries, and you've listed like so many countries already in this short talk. Um, is there one country that you enjoy most, or that you've kind of gone back to?
Uh, there are so many ones, so it's always hard to answer, of course. But
Yep.
well, I've been to Guatemala last year,
Hmm.
and Guatemala is very unknown. And what I liked in this trip is that first, it's my followers who chose where I would go. So
Okay.
like, I would say them, I want to go to like 16 countries in the next month. You have to choose the country I'm gonna go, and it's Guatemala who won. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. And and I've been there for a month, and I didn't know what to expect actually because it's not like Bali or it's not like Thailand that you see pictures or videos every day on your feed. So
Right.
I've been to Guatemala not knowing what I would see actually.
Yeah.
And this is what made it more magic. I discovered with my eyes and then shared it to so many people, of course. But first, I discovered with my eyes, and it was really interesting. So yeah, and it was pretty cheap. It's like I guess one of the cheapest destinations I've ever been. So Guatemala is cheap, it's beautiful, people are amazing, and it's not so touristic. So you have crazy places just for you,
That's
and that's kind of, I mean, yeah, that's the best thing when you're traveling. Like you can be on the most beautiful like place on earth in front of the most beautiful monument on earth, but if there are hundreds and hundreds of people near you,
yeah.
it's not as magic as it would be if you would be alone. That's why I wake up very early when I'm traveling most of the time, actually.
To see it before everyone comes in and invades the view.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's funny that you said that it was so cheap. I wonder, like, normally traveling is quite expensive. um, or at least I've experienced that.
Yeah, it can be.
Um,
It's
how do you manage the financial aspect?
I won't say that traveling is expensive. I would say it depends of your lifestyle and it depends on the destination. Of course, if you're going to New York, I love New York. I lived there for a while and I've been there maybe six, seven, 8 times. I don't even know. Going to New York is expensive. Like it's one of the most expensive cities on earth. But if you are going to, I don't know, cheap place in Netherlands, if you're going to unknown places, it's gonna be far less expensive. So it really depends where you go. I've been on a Euro trip 3 times actually, and I ended up like in Poland. I ended up in Romania. These kind of countries that are not so far from our homes,
Yeah,
and it costs nothing to travel there. So I would say if you think traveling is expensive, just look at the destination you want to go. I'm pretty sure you can find cheap places to go. So that's the way to manage your financial, way of traveling. Just go to cheap places.
exactly. Yeah, I think there's a variety to find, and you can find something that suits your budget always, I think. Yeah,
Definitely, definitely. Of
yeah,
course, it always depends. If you want to go to California, go to California, but of course, it's going to be a bit expensive. And then you have always some solutions. You can do some couch surfing. You know,
yeah.
you have
The
some.
way Airbnb started.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Long time ago.
long time ago. So, um, yeah, I also have a question about, yeah, if you could change something. I don't like to look at the past and think about change, but if you
Yeah,
could change something,
yeah.
would there be something that you would change of how you went about things, or
Well,
yeah,
if I could go back in time, maybe on my very first trips, because I understood it with time, but on my very first trips, I wanted to organize every single day, every, morning going there, afternoon going there, eating there on midday, on lunch, blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
I understood with the time, but you don't have to plan everything before traveling. Just plan the main spots you want to go. Just plan the very first days,
yeah,
but then leave it
a bit
as you're gonna
go with the
leave.
flow.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna leave your trip. Don't plan everything before leaving it. Just take it. Take it as it's gonna be. Depending of who you're gonna meet, depending of what you're gonna hear by the locals from
Yeah,
anybody when you're gonna meet these kind of things. I would say that it's the best way to travel is that you don't have to plan everything. Of course, you can plan few things, but not everything. Don't plan everything. Don't plan everything.
flexibility. Okay, I like
Exactly.
it. And I think something that's important for your blog or your travels, and I think for everyone when they travel, is to capture those
Yeah,
moments, those special moments.
yeah.
How do you capture all of those moments?
Oh, so it has to be light. I mean, light. It depends for who it is, but I have a drone that
Hmm.
is here. So it's pretty
Very
small.
nice. Yep, another
Pretty
one,
small.
DJI.
Yeah, it's a new drone actually. I bought it, so you still have this. It's a Mavic Air 2. Well, I'm not paid by them, just that you know. I really bought it.
Hey,
And
we love all the techie stuff to see the gear.
yeah, exactly. So this is my camera. That's a GH5 from Panasonic. With this, I can film and I can see myself filming because I'm a YouTuber too. So it's very important that I can see myself. And that's the two main things actually. Of course, after I'm gonna have maybe a tripod, these kind of things. I have a microphone for when I want to do some voiceover, these kind of things. But when I'm traveling, it has to be light. So I take my computer, I take my drone and my camera, and that's it.
Okay.
Well, I take
Hopefully,
t-shirts too, these kind of things.
yeah,
But
of
we were
course.
speaking about material, right?
Capturing the moments indeed of indeed all these beautiful things that you're seeing indeed.
Exactly.
um, do you also I think you already talked about it a little bit, but do you also travel mostly alone or with people, and what's your preference?
Uh, that's a huge subject for travelers. It
It
really
is.
depends. I used to travel alone a lot in the past. When I've been to Colombia, when I've been to many places, I was alone most of the time. I like it because you meet more people. That's funny to say, but you meet more people when you're alone than when you're with your friends. Because when you're with your friends, you're gonna speak with your friends, stay with your friends, this is how it works. You are less open to everything around you.
Around. Yeah.
But as it's my job being a travel blogger, most of the time I'm with somebody that is coming with me today to help me to shoot the places I'm coming. Because I'm doing video for YouTube, I have nearly 200K followers on YouTube. So I do like one video per week, something like that. Sometimes I have to be lost in the middle of the landscape of where I am, and I need somebody to shoot me for these kind of places. So most of the time today, I would say I'm traveling with a good friend of mine.
Yep.
And it's pretty cool too, because the true thing is that when you're traveling alone, you will remember things, but you won't remember it shared with somebody you know. So you won't be able to speak about it so much with the friend so much you traveled with and all. So, good sides, bad sides. I would say just do both once at least. I know that most people are afraid of traveling alone.
Yep, I'm in
But
that boat.
okay, that's normal. That's normal. But I would say that you learn more about yourself by traveling alone than traveling with a friend, of course, because
Yeah.
you're alone. So you feel weird at first. You might even cry or anything because you don't even know what the fuck you're doing there. But after a while, you're gonna meet somebody, then gonna introduce you with somebody else. You're gonna do something with those people. They're gonna become friends, and then you can think, if I ever go in Brazil, I know people there, and that's pretty cool.
Right. I think you become more confident as time goes on as well, right? To
Of course,
approach people,
of
to
course,
to start the conversation, and yeah, that makes it then easier over time, I think. Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
And okay, considering that I'm this person who doesn't like to travel alone, um, what would you have some advice, like have as an advice to people who are starting this kind of journey of wanting to travel the world?
I would say, once again, look at the destination. The destination is very important. I loved I loved going to India, for instance. I really loved it. But maybe I want advise somebody that never traveled alone to go to India first, because it's unique, it's very powerful, the people, the culture, everything. So look at the destination you're going. Maybe you should go to Canada. Maybe you should go to easy destinations where you can speak the language of the locals. If you speak
Yeah.
well English, maybe go to an English destination. Don't go to, places you could not speak with anybody, even if you're going to meet travelers, but it's cool to speak with locals too.
Yeah.
So yeah, just look at the destination you're going to go. That's the most important thing. Look at where you want to go.
Yeah. And do
Take
your
care of that.
research. And
Yes,
yeah, have a
definitely.
good idea of what you're signing yourself up for.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly. Every destination is unique, so look for the one you really want to go.
yeah. And yeah, I think you have an endless list of places you want to go. But and you mentioned before that indeed your followers helped you choose the next destination. But otherwise, where does the inspiration come from? Yeah,
So many places. Well, first of all, we are on Instagram, and I really think that Instagram can be a very interesting way to discover new places. Like I discovered a few years ago the Dolomites in Italy thanks to Instagram, and I've been there last year in winter. It was amazing. I really loved it. And without Instagram, I won't have known about these crazy places that is so close to my home. It's in Italy.
yeah,
So Instagram can be useful. Travel blogs, of course. I'm French, so I'm looking most of the time on French travel blogs. Facebook groups can be very interesting too. I have a group that is called Voyageurs autour du monde in
yeah,
French. We are more than 150K people on it. And I'm pretty sure that if you ask a question like, hey, I'm with a friend, we've never been in Asia, we have this budget, we want to go this period of the year, what do you advise? You're going to find so many people that been to so many places, we can help you. So
right.
yeah, those things would be the main ways for me to to choose a place to go, because I don't buy books or anything like that, to be honest. I'm not of this generation. When I've
Yeah,
been to Guatemala, I didn't buy any book like Lonely Planet or Le Routard in France. I
yeah,
just I've just been to Guatemala and I got lost and I asked people, these kind of things. So online for discovering places and then real life for asking locals is pretty cool.
Nice. The good mix of like indeed the online and just people around who've
Yeah,
also traveled to those places or who are willing to share, I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
all the information. People are
exactly.
so excited about the travels that they do. So yeah,
Definitely.
very nice. Um, and then just, yeah, also when you arrive at a place, kind of how do you get around? Yeah, and do you, yeah, need help a little bit in navigating that place?
Well, the best way for me to like, I'm gonna get lost in France in the next months, like I told you. And of course, the one of the best ways, if you really want to get lost, and I love to get lost, my followers know it. I love to go to places where so few people have been. Like when I've been to India, I've been to Madhya Pradesh. It's a region in the middle of India, and nobody knew about that. And I was kind of alone with my friend as a traveler. So it was
Hmm.
really interesting, yeah. But of course, when you're traveling, you need to know where you go at least a bit. So that's why you need in your car a good navigation system, like
Every once in a while, a TomTom.
of course, of course, you need that because what I like to do is like I just put a destination on the GPS and then I get lost. I don't always follow the main roads. I like to get lost on the small roads,
Yeah,
and that's the best way for me to travel actually. Just put a destination and then get lost in on the way
on the
to this
way,
destination.
exactly, and still be able to one day find your way back.
Exactly. Well, that can be useful for that. Find your way back.
No, exactly. Oh, that's really awesome. I'm gonna just very quickly check if we have any questions going
We
on.
have GCU doing that.
Yes. We have a few comments, indeed, just people saying hello. But yeah, is there anything else, Bruno, that you'd like to share with anyone or your followers who are here?
Uh,
Um,
well, I say it's pretty often, but always follow your passion first, and then you're gonna see where it could bring you. So, I just started with my travel blog 8 years ago. I didn't have any idea of what I could do with that. I just wanted to do a travel blog, and then it became my job with the time. Who says that it could not be you instead of me? So you just need to work on that passion and you will see what's going to happen with the time.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. I still see just really quickly one last question here. So what did you like better of Colombia or what did you enjoy most?
Oh, so many things. It was a long time ago. It was like 6 or 7 years ago. First of all, when like people in Colombia are amazing. There was the nicest people, like kindest people, really like, and it was a long time ago. It was 7 years ago. I can swear that 7 years ago, when I told my parents, because I used to live in Peru in that moment, on that period, when I told my parents I'm gonna travel in Colombia, they told me you're gonna die, these kind of things.
God.
They were afraid for me. So as soon as I arrived in Colombia, I realized people were so nice because they were not so much used to see tourists, so they were like helping so much when they would see you lost in the street, they would say you, do you need anything? These kind of things that are amazing when you're traveling. But speaking about city or anything, I really liked Cartagena. It's in the north of Colombia. It's
Yeah,
very colorful. It's very, I don't know, it's just beautiful. So Cartagena should be on your list if you ever go to Colombia.
that's awesome. Thank you for that advice. I'm
Yeah,
sure Zizi will enjoy that little tidbit of information.
I hope so. This is
Exactly.
nice name.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Bruno, for taking the time to share a little bit about your story and where it's all led you. I wish you even more amazing journeys, and especially now in France.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you again for joining.
Yep. So see you next on the road, I guess.
Hope so.
See
Yes.
you.
Bye bye.